White chocolate macadamia nut cookies do not get the same attention that chocolate chip cookies get. And honestly, they deserve better. Today, we're putting the homemade version of this cookie up against Subway's white chocolate macadamia nut cookies to see if baking them yourself is really worth it. Or should you just let somebody else do all the work? This is homemade versus store-bought white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. Hi, I'm Curtis, and on this channel, we compare homemade versions of popular desserts up against their professional counterparts to see which one comes out on top. In this episode, we'll be comparing Subway's white chocolate macadamia nut cookies up against homemade version to see which one earns a permanent spot in your cookie jar. As always, we'll be grading both of these cookies in 4 categories with a score between 1 and 5. Appearance, texture, taste, and cost. So grab yourself a cookie and some milk and play along in the comments. At the end of this, we'll see how it all works out. Now, a brief history. Before we all become cookie monsters,
the time has come for this cookie!
Let's talk about the history of these cookies. Chocolate chip cookies have been around since the 1930s, but white chocolate macadamia nut cookies didn't come around until the 1980s. As white chocolate became more popular and Hawaiian macadamia nuts gained popularity, bakers discovered that the combination went together beautifully. Today, these cookies are everywhere. Bakeries, grocery stores, fast food chains, and coffee shops all across the country.
Coming out of the goddamn walls, look!
But of course, none of that answers the biggest question. Can homemade actually beat the professional version? Or will we find out it's been living high and mighty off of its reputation? There's only one thing to do at this point. Let's head to the kitchen and find out. Well, here we are back in the kitchen. This time, we're gonna do white chocolate macadamia nut cookies, and we're gonna compare them up against Subway. I was told by a friend that Subway has the absolute best white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. So that's what I'm gonna compare it up against. I went and got some from Subway. We're gonna make these real quick, and then we're gonna get together and see who wins this contest. Let's get to mixing this up, and we'll see who comes out on top. White chocolate macadamia nut cookies are a modern indulgence that blends 2 premium ingredients, creamy white chocolate and buttery macadamia nuts, into a rich, chewy, and slightly crunchy treat. While there's no single confirmed inventor, several claims and historical threads point to their origins in the 1970s and 1980s. Blue Chip Cookies, the now defunct Blue Chip cookie chain, claims to have invented the cookies in 1983, making it one of the earliest documented versions. Many sources credit Hawaiian bakeries in the 70s and 80s for creating the pairing, inspired by the island's access to both imported white chocolate and homegrown macadamia nuts. Some accounts link the cookies to Alan Wong's, a well-known Hawaiian restaurant chain, which elevated it into a gourmet product. Debbie Field's company began using macadamia nuts in the late 1980s, possibly influenced by its early store in Honolulu, and introduced macadamia white chocolate and coconut cookies around that time. Native to Australia, macadamia nuts were introduced to Hawaii in the late 19th century and became a major export crop. All right guys, we've got our cookie dough made up. I've reserved some of the white chocolate chips and a little bit of the chopped macadamia nuts because when I put these on the pan, I want to kind of stick a little bit of this stuff on the top so that once the cookies cook, you'll see the white chocolate and macadamia nuts on the top of the cookie, not just inside. So we're going to do that real quick, and then the recipe calls for it to sit in the refrigerator and chill for 40 minutes before baking. So we're gonna get that done. We're gonna throw them in the oven at 350 for 10 to 12 minutes. My oven is a little weird, so we may have to make some adjustments with both the temperature and the time. Important note is that when you pull the cookies out, you want the top to look dry, but still be a little soft, because the cookies are gonna continue to cook on the pan once you pull them out. And if you leave them in there until they're all the way done, by the time you get them off the pan and cooled, they're gonna be overcooked. So just keep that in mind. So let's get started panning these up. While the exact creator is debated, the white chocolate macadamia nut cookie emerged in the 70s and 80s in Hawaii, likely through the work of local bakeries or restaurants, and was popularized nationally in the 1990s. Claims from blue chip cookies and Hawaiian culinary legends like Alan Wong add to its rich, layered history.
A few moments later.
Well, there you have them, folks. This is my white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. And I think they turned out all right. They probably could have gotten a little bit darker, but they are done. The cookies are done. Me doubling up the pan has really kept the bottoms from overcooking. So we're gonna get in there. We're gonna compare these. We're gonna get in there and compare these with the Subway version, and we're gonna see how they turn out. But first, check out this reveal. The verdict. Here we are with our two competitors on the white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. On the left is my homemade version, and on the right is the Subway version. As you well know, we will grade these in 4 categories with a score between 1 and 5, with the first category being appearance. So let's go ahead and just jump into that. For appearance on the homemade, this cookie is very light. It's very light colored. My wife Caroline even wondered if it was done. They are done. And if you look on the bottom, they're a little brown. They're very soft. On the Subway cookie, it is pretty solid. It's much browner, much darker. Probably stayed in the oven quite a bit longer. So for appearance, it's really hard to say on this one. This one has some like little peaks and valleys in it, and this one is a lot smoother. So let's go ahead and be fair. This looks more like a traditional white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. So I'm gonna give it a 4. This one looks a little bit wild. So with that in mind, I'm gonna give it a 3. Next category is texture. So for texture, we'll start with the Subway cookie. Let's bust it open. It's very soft. It's a fairly thin cookie. Kind of hard on the outside. Now, to be fair, this cookie was made quite a while ago, and this cookie just came out of the oven. So texture on that is going to be completely different. On this one, we bust it open. And boy, look at how soft that thing is. The inside, it's almost too soft. But then the edges of it are hard. So it's hard on the edges, soft in the middle. I think that's kind of what you want on a cookie. I'm gonna go as far as to say that the texture on both of these, considering that this one's much older, are about the same. Let's give them both a 3. And now let's taste them. Let's start with the Subway cookie. That's a really good cookie. It does have a little bit of the industrial industrialized flavor, if that makes any sense, commercial flavor. It kind of tastes like the cookies that you buy in the refrigerator section at the grocery store. In the rolls, and you just cut them. It's kind of like that taste. So let's taste this one with all fresh ingredients. That is delicious. That cookie is really good. If I do these again, I might cook them just a tad longer, but honestly, if you like gooey cookies, it's hard on the edge, gooey in the center, I think it's fantastic. So, on taste, I'm gonna give mine a 4. It tastes really, really good. Really, really fresh. This one tastes like just about every cookie you can get that's prepackaged and you just throw in the oven, or you buy a bunch of them from Walmart. That's what it tastes like. So, I'm gonna give it a 2 on the taste. Not really hitting all that hard. Finally, let's talk about the cost. I got this cookie at Subway, and it was a little over $1 for each cookie. I bought 3 of them. This cookie, the ingredients I bought for it, I'd say I spent probably about $15 on everything. But I also got 10 cookies out of this. On top of that $15, I still have a lot of ingredients left over to make more cookies. I think economically, this cookie is better and cheaper than this cookie. We didn't get to do this last time because we did chocolate cake, but Piper has been waiting, and we are going to find out what she thinks about these cookies. So come on, here, there it goes, sit down. So we're going to give her a piece of the Subway cookie first. So what do you think of that?
If beige had a flavor, this would be it.
Well, you don't have a whole lot of experience with cookies now, do you? All right, so let's try mine. What do you think of that one?
I kissed a cookie, and I think I liked it.
See, I am slowly winning her over, even though she doesn't really know what she's talking about. Well, guys, that's all we have for today. Me and Piper like to thank you for coming along, spend this time with us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you'll know next time we drop a video. Well, that's all we got for today. We'll see you on the next video. Tell them bye, Piper.
Bye now. We'll see you on the next video.